Hello YouTube and welcome to another GV anime review. Now before I start this review on a more serious note, I really want to send out my condolences to the people of Turkey who were yesterday the victim of again a barbaric act of terrorism. Now we must move on, and today I start the multiple spring reviews that I will be releasing in the next coming weeks. And the first anime that I'm reviewing today is Gakusen Toshi Asterisk, or the Asterisk War. An anime that was released in two parts, with the first one released in fall last year and the second part in the past spring season. The story takes place in a future where some people have magical powers. They get called Genestella. Here we meet our main character Amagiri Ayato, who just enrolled in Seidokan Academy, one of the 6 academies for Genestella. Here he meets another Genestella called Julis Alexia von Riesfeld. She is a princess from a European state and an excellent Genestella. Julis is currently preparing for the Phoenix Festa, a big tournament for Genestella. She eventually teams up with Ayato to form a team, and each of them has their own reasons on why they want to win the Festa. To start off my positive section, I again have to praise A1 Pictures for the animation in Asterisk. The animation was on one side again very sharp and detailed, which was definitely noticeable in the many battles that we get to see when the Phoenix Festa starts. And the sharpness of the animation was very well combined with the bright coloring. I found the color palette that Asterisk used very enjoyable to look at. The bright and vibrant colors reflected the flow of Asterisk still being an action-based anime. And I find colorful animes still way more enjoyable to watch than animes who are based on grayish colors. Now, although the animation was sharp most of the time, I must admit that in the later episodes I did notice some irregularities in the animation, like some facial expressions were animated quite roughly, but no anime is without fault. The next positive point that I want to address are the characters. For this point, I'm going to make some comparisons between Asterisk and its so-called brother from fall 2015, Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry. Let's start with the main characters, Ayato in Asterisk and Iki in Chivalry. If I had to make a choice between them, I would definitely choose Iki over Ayato. Ayato was a good MC, but I found Iki to be much more interesting and to have a much more layered personality, especially when we got to the end of Chivalry. And with Ayato, I felt that some things happened out of the blue, and I will clarify that in the negative section of this review. Now, Asterisk did have the better female character in my opinion. Despite the fact that Julis and Stella are almost completely alike, they both have pink hair, they both control fire, are princesses and Semite tsunderes, I found Julis to be a more enjoyable character. I think that's also related to the comedy that Chivalry used mostly with Stella that I didn't really enjoy. And finally we have the side characters. Asterisk did a very good job at creating lovable side characters that were actually important to the main storyline. In Chivalry, if we're honest, the side characters Shizuku and Nagi weren't really that important, especially Nagi. But the two side characters in Asterisk, being Kirin and Saya, were really important to the story, and Asterisk rewarded them for that by giving them episodes that focused on them instead of the main duo Julis Ayato. And if we're honest again, both Saya and Kirin were so damn adorable, especially Kirin in my own opinion. A final positive point that I definitely want to mention were the opening and ending songs. The opening songs were so Dope. Talking about openings that get you hyped up for the episode that was to come. To illustrate this, and this is a true story, when I was at a tournament a few months ago, I actually used the second opening called the Asterisk War to prepare myself and to gain focus for the match that was to come. And these two guys, they proved that it actually worked. That's how good of a hype opening I found that to be. Apart from the few small negative points that I mentioned earlier, Asterisk was, like almost every anime, not flawless. As I mentioned before, I felt with Ayato that some things happened out of the blue. Best example was the battle between him and the Ninja Sisters, where he suddenly unlocks a new level of his power. And that happened like that. This should have had way more focus on it, since Ayato's power and the seal on it was a very important element for the story of Asterisk. Another negative point was the semi-final fight between Yulis and Ayato and the two knights. This was a fight that I expected way more of. This was a semi-final and it gets resolved in like half an episode. Now, the reasons for this rushing was that one, at the time of this semi-final fight, something else was happening that was very important for the main storyline. And two, the other semi-final got more attention for a reason that I mentioned earlier, but no further spoilers. But despite these reasons, I still found this semi-final to be way too rushed. My next negative point is the reason that I think Asterisk will have lost quite some viewers after its first few episodes. The main storyline of Asterisk is everything but original. The concept of a guy who is usually weak as shit, who has to win some kind of tournament to save someone close to him, has been used time after time after time again in anime. Examples are Chivalry and the later episodes of Taimado Gakuen 35 Shinken Shotai. And I think some viewers of Asterisk dropped it because of that. That they thought that this was another stereotypical anime. I even know that fellow anime reviewer Chibi dropped Asterisk because of this reason. Now, I am happy that I kept on watching Asterisk, because although the story wasn't very original, the execution was splendid. And my last negative point is an obvious one if you're familiar with my channel and know what bothers me in anime. It was, of course, the open ending of Asterisk. This anime is far from finished, especially since it opens up new storylines in its final episodes. The Phoenix Festival is finished in episode 20, and in the episodes after that, completely new storylines about Claudia and Yulis get introduced, and the anime looks forward to the Gripes Festival. On top of that, the story resolving around Ayato's sister isn't resolved yet, and we also learned that Ernesta is working on a new robot. So lots of things that still need resolution. Now, I truly hope that this anime wasn't solely a promotion for the light novels. I truly hope that A1 will make a third season when there's enough content in the light novel. The first 2 seasons now covered 7 volumes of the light novel, and the last one to be released was the 10th one. So hopefully we get a new adaptation, maybe somewhere in 2017. So as a conclusion, despite Asterisk being a very typical anime at its core, I really enjoyed the execution of it, from the animation and the music to the characters and their personalities. And that's why I'm going to rate Gakusen Toshi Asterisk at 3.5 out of 5 stars. This was again a good anime by A1. Not their best, I must admit, but I still enjoyed it enough to wish for a third season. My obvious recommendation for Asterisk is its clone from fall 2015, Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry. These animes are so alike that they could have been made by the same person. Very similar storylines, characters and endings. In some aspects it was better than Asterisk, as I mentioned in the review, but in others it had to recognize its superior in Asterisk. And if I had to choose between the two of them, I would still go more towards Asterisk. And with that I conclude my review of Gakusen Toshi Asterisk. As usual, you can find the full list of all my animes and reviews over at Anime Planet. As usual, I will put a link in the description box down below. Now if you want me to review a particular anime from this list, please put it in the comments. Also, if you have a recommendation for me, put them in the comments as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. I will say arigatou gozaimasu and I will see you all in the next video.